zone podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone podcast. 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 In the zone, in the zone, in the zone podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone podcast. 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 In the zone.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the In the Zone podcast. It is your boy, B. Foster. Brian Foster is in the building. It's another fabulous Wednesday here in the Shy. Sean, what's happening?
I should probably be paying attention. Hey, y'all. Hey. They have the virtual guest. You have to text them. I'm very interested in this topic.
It should be interesting.
Interesting.
I mean, if you don't know, it's already up there. We have to go to discuss today AI and technology and how it's changing the world, the good, the bad, and how do we stay human as this world evolves into this digital space, right? How do we save our humanity? And by humanity, I mean maybe even stop it from taking over and launching nuclear bombs.
Did you say nuclear bombs?
Nuclear missiles.
What do you think is going to happen?
Did you see the Terminator?
I've seen all 12 of them, unfortunately.
Then you know exactly what happens.
Well, I want to be the ones that got blown up.
You don't want to know. You don't want to fight against the machines?
Do I look like I should be fighting against the machines?
I mean, right now, you look kind of rough and ready.
I be in these streets.
Come on, I'm just saying.
I definitely want whatever blew the people's skin off. They turn into ash immediately.
Just be done.
Yes.
I kind of agree with you. All right. So before we get to that, though, as always, me and Sean are gonna fight. What we fight about today, Sean?
So I found this video of Mama D. You know what? Play the video. We go watch it, and then we gonna fight.
All right.
I look back at it though, that was traumatizing. That was traumatizing.
After therapy. I think that's really the root of where men are right now. I think that they had a lot of traumatizing experiences.
It was pretty special. I
don't
know anybody really that had that.
I think she needs to go to jail at this point.
Jesus Christ.
I think that Mama D needs...
It wasn't like they slept with anybody. I'm not jail.
If that took place today and a mother brought strippers in to dance for 14-year-old boys, what do you think should happen to that mom?
Is it a crime?
Is it not? The kids.
I think we all understand that this is wrong.
The point is, this is why a lot of you men are misogynists, because
That's
y'all
not our experience.
The experience is, if it wasn't strippers, it was that your manhood was tied to having sex probably way earlier than you needed to, oftentimes with an older woman, and instead of viewing it as the sexual assault that it is, you're trying to navigate your hate for women because you weren't ready. You were traumatized and you haven't gone to therapy to live through it.
Yeah. Mama had strippers in them.
Right.
Yeah.
For my 14.
Okay, so to get everybody up to speed, if you didn't know, during Love and Hip Hop, Little Scrappy let everybody know that his first sexual experience, I actually may not have been on Love and Hip Hop, I think it was during the radio interview. Anyway, that his mother his mother ran a whorehouse, and if I have it accurate, she paid some of the whores, or she paid some strippers to take his virginity at 14. So the question is, or the fight we go have is two parts, right? One, is she wrong? And two, shout out to Mandy, said, should she go to jail?
Okay. Go ahead.
You need to think about this?
I need to, yes. I didn't know what we were fighting about, so I gotta ponder
you
for a second.
actually have to ponder about that?
I do have to ponder.
Goddamn, she wrong as hell. First of all, he had already an orthodox childhood, growing up in a goddamn whorehouse. That's traumatizing enough. Second, you got this motherfucker, a damn prostitute, at 14 to take his virginity. He didn't ask you for it. You just showed up with that motherfucker and say, fuck her. And then now we on the radio talking about it. His mama basically punked him and was like, getting some pussy is traumatizing. That's literally the word she said.
So, okay.
So many things wrong with this situation.
First of all, shout out Mama D.
No, that is not a shout out.
Mama D. No, all right, okay, all right. That's a bridge too far.
Which part? So many bridges, so many fires.
Yeah. I mean, well, she had to provide for her son, so she had to run
food, shelter, clothing.
And she had to run hookers.
Pussy was not it.
I'm saying, growing up in the whorehouse was a necessity because she needed to provide.
Yes, yes, that part, fine. I'll give her that. That's the way she figured out how to make money for them. So fine.
The other parts, yeah.
You can't even do your normal false like, wait a minute.
Right. Normally I try to argue the other side for the sake of argument, but no.
I was a little. So wait, now that we know she was deeply, I don't even understand as a parent how you think to yourself like self, especially your mom. Like, you know what I should do for his 14th birthday? Hooker. That's the present. A hooker. Where does that even come from?
I mean, if you're running a prostitution ring, you're probably not the most qualified to make these decisions anyway. But okay, let's say he was 17.
Okay, so I have a firm belief, and this is with my own child. What you do with your vagina is not my business.
Okay.
So no, I should not be getting it. Obviously, I want your vagina to be healthy. I want you to be healthy. I want you to have healthy relationships. But I have no say in who you decide to do that with. Nor do I want to have a say in who you do it.
He didn't have to.
You think your mother come to you and say, hey, you go fuck this bitch? Because I'm sure that's what Mama D said. At 14, he was like, you know what? I'd rather not.
Mom, I'm not ready. I'm not emotionally stable enough to have this encounter with this grown adult woman.
You think at 14, that's what was that? Is that what you thought? Is that wow? You think he's very enlightened?
So my question then becomes,
yes,
bigger question. And men, as you watch, chime in if you'd like.
Which we've done a show about this.
Yeah, a lot of men would say that wasn't traumatizing. Mama D hooked him up. That was the way to get it going.
Was it?
I'm saying some men would say that was a beautiful 14th birthday present, and that they don't feel taken advantage of at all by that situation.
Perhaps. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say every time a 14-year-old has sex that it's traumatizing, or every time a 14-year-old has sex with an adult that's traumatizing. Of course not. That situation, I can 100% see how that's traumatizing. Your mama is basically calling you a bitch because you. No, she basically, when she said it's trauma getting some pussy, that was basically what she was saying. Like,
Well.
but should she go to jail? Well, obviously not
Oh.
now because the man is 40-something years old. But by today's standards,
I mean, that's child abuse.
I mean, it's contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
Absolutely.
And that is a...
It's having sex. It's having sex delinquency.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. You know there are statutory rape laws, right?
Not for him, though.
Well, but it's statutory rape laws for the adults in the matter. And I'm going to assume she didn't get a 14-year-old prostitute to sleep with him. I'm just going to take a stab in the dark.
So the prostitute should go to jail. Shabama D?
Yeah.
Why? Because she paid for it?
And just like Scrappy and orchestrated it, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 1000%.
Okay.
If Jeffrey Epstein going to jail, so should she.
Yeah, but Jeffrey was doing the thing, doing the do.
He also was orchestrating it for many of the powerful people.
That's true.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Well, that was fun. We didn't
Mama
fight.
D, I couldn't even fake the funk on that one. That's just awful.
That was wild.
That's awful.
Sorry. Yeah. But at least we had some fun before we dig into how the robots go take over and we go get obliterated.
We don't know that. Let's talk to the experts.
That's true. All right, let's go to the next segment.
Your Majesties, this year the Nobel Committees in Physics and Chemistry have recognized the dramatic progress being made in a new form of artificial intelligence. This new form of AI excels at modeling human intuition rather than human reasoning. Unfortunately, the rapid progress in AI comes with many short-term risks.
Let me tell you who's what. Jesus
In the
Christ.
near future, AI may be used to create terrible new viruses and horrendous lethal weapons that decide by themselves who to kill or maim. We have no idea whether we can stay in control. But we now have evidence that if they are created by companies motivated by short-term profits, our safety will not be the top priority. We urgently need research on how to prevent these new beings from wanting to take control. They are no longer science fiction. Thank you. Your Majesties, this year the Nobel Committees in Physics and Chemistry have recognized the dramatic progress.
All right, y'all. Well, there we go.
There we go.
All right. Blow
We're
us
coming
up,
back.
Ron. All right, we getting in there. All right, so want to introduce I really, y'all know I like to talk on my show. But today I'm going to say very little because I am not an expert at this at all. We have brought two gentlemen that are in the field and are more adept at talking about this than Sean and I are equipped to. So want to welcome them both back. They are veterans of the show. On my right, I got my man Dean. What's happening, baby?
What's going on? How you feel?
I'm good. I'm good. On Sean's left, we got Joe.
Yo.
What's happening, baby?
I'm good.
Hey,
I
let's
just
get
want
into
y'all
it.
to know Joe brought notes. That's just
Oh,
how
it's-
thorough he is.
Joe is prepared.
It's not even like that.
I think we've had 3 guests in the 4 years walk in with notes.
Hell, we don't even have notes.
We sure
So-
don't. We be off the dome.
Let's get those comments back up, Ron. All right, let's get them going. You want to kick it off? You want me to?
Please. All right. Okay. I'm here now. I just need to get to notes. When you first heard about AI, Joe, what was your initial reaction? Excitement or fear? Or did you instantly start thinking of Terminator 2 like I did?
No, there's 2 instances of where I got introduced to AI. So I started learning about AI in college. So down in Champaign, took a machine learning course. So that was my introduction to AI. So from there, it was just entrance of how to do development. Or I did horribly there, of course. That shit was a graduate course, and I wasn't prepared for it. But when ChatGPT came out, that's where the excitement came in. Coming from a software developer aspect, I was able to write code from ChatGPT, and I thought that would have been a game changer. So from that perspective, it was exciting. It was an excitement from there.
So it's exciting if you know how to do code. So the rest of us should just
It's
Ass out.
well, no, it's not even that. It's just if you're a content creator,
Mhm.
if it really depends on the data that is already put into the LLMs, and we'll talk about that. But if you're like out of work, need to write your resume, need to write cover letters. There are so many things you can do with just on ChatGPT or Perplexity or others. But from the workflows that are being built, agentic AI, there's a lot of where the industry is really headed this way. And it's automation. It's a lot of automation, but I don't think we're at the true AI phase yet. It's more machine learning, but we'll get into that.
Dean, what about you?
I think when it first came out, I thought it was a game changer because I mean this is a renaissance period, just like it was when .com, when that first the internet and connectivity first came about, and I didn't use the technology for at least a year and a half before I even touched it. I mean, I saw people talk about it. It's the same kind of thing when cloud became a thing. Right, that was a very transformative period, cloud and just the ability to have software-based instances of hardware. But I was excited about the possibilities of it, especially in terms of the use case for AI, which is essentially you training a model on the English language, and now it's at your fingertips. You just talk to it, and it tells you whatever you want to know. So I was very excited about it.
And we probably skipped a bit of a step. So can, like Joe, right? Just a little bit of background of how you even got knowledge. Are you a software engineer? Like how did you get expertise in AI?
Mostly just self-taught. I'm on YouTube a lot. I do a lot of research online. I'm on which was Twitter's now X. I spend a lot of time on there. There are a lot of people on X that this is all they talk about day in and day out. So I spend most of my time on LinkedIn and X. I'm not on Facebook as much as I used to. I'm on there now. I do some content writing, but it's all out there publicly available. YouTube courses. I mean, there's hordes of information available for free for people to take advantage of to learn it.
Sean, when you first heard about AI and the AI revolution, what was your initial reaction?
Dun 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 dun. So I think I've mentioned this. I'm in consulting, more specifically like software implementation. So, and I've done some automation on like some AI projects and transformation and things like that. So honestly, if I'm totally being honest, just given my background, because I've done a lot of automation work, my first thought was we ain't gonna have no jobs no more. If you want me to be totally honest. Because a lot of my role was getting rid of like entry-level payroll people, automating their roles. Same thing with supply chain, automating some of those users. So AI has always, and even just automation in general, I just always see it as a way to just eliminate roles. Now, I also want to be mindful that people had the same thought when the car came about and when planes came about and when Ford automated the building of cars, like everybody always production. Thank you. Or even like the just in time that was it Japan? Was it Honda? I forgot. Whoever came up with the just in time methodology to speed up car assembly. There's always this panic that people are going to lose their jobs, right? So I do want to temper myself, like, I don't want to throw myself in we ain't going to have no jobs no more. But it is in the back of my head, we ain't going to have no jobs no more.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I lost my question. Let me ask you guys this. Because we were talking about, because I'll be honest, when it first was launching for me, I'm a slow adapter to everything. Right? Like people was like text. I was like, call me. I ain't texting to hell. And that's when you had the ABBB. You had to like go through all that. Like it took 20 minutes. And I was like, call me. I ain't doing that shit. I could go down a list of things I fought until social media. I was like, that's stupid. Who wants to be on social media?
And yet here we are.
Here we are. So I am a slow adapter to these things. So I'll be honest. I was like, nope, they're not getting none of my information, and I'm not feeding nothing. It ain't gonna know nothing about me, and blah 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 blah. And then, of course, now I put everything in ChatGPT, right? So I was a little concerned. You know, I am an old Terminator 2 Skynet type dude. But let me ask you all this: could AI ever become uncontrollable, or is this just science fiction that we're all scared of? D.
Yeah, I think we're far off from any kind of dystopia type mindset about AI. It has the potential to be trained on a variety. Right now, the large language models are trained on text. And so you can give it text and then have it generate certain type of things. And right now you can, do a lot of different things with that in terms of figuring out how to hack, a website. But there is ethics built into AI where if you type in certain things in the chat GPT, it will stop you. It'll say, let's stop here. It'll literally tell you, I can't do that because it's unethical. So they did build that in there. There are some stop gaps to prevent the model from telling you how to do certain things because it's unethical. But the power of it in terms of how people harness it to do certain things, whether it's for good or for bad, both of those options are there. So it just time will tell how far it can become uncontrollable, I guess.
Jay?
No, I'd probably agree. So, I mean, you look at it is that right now, I don't think we're even at the full-fledged apex of AI. I think we're at the very beginning stage because I think it's not really AI because it's still dependent on the data you put in. So it's still data in, data out. And so that's where you talk about machine learning. It's just learning from the text that you put in. So could it get to a point of dystopia? Yeah, but you're talking a generation, I think, away from that. But then there's where the controls are, who's going to put in there. So will corporate industry want to make a dystopia? No, because they need to make money, right? So let's be honest about that, right? You're looking at, I think, military. People think about like the military, politicians, but there are controls that you can put in there. But I don't think we're at that point yet. I think it's a little hype, but you can still have robotics. There are still engineers who are doing great work and are moving at fast pace, but at a global scale to go, let's say like T2, I just don't see that.
So
10, 20 years.
There are
20 years,
20, 30 years. No,
I think we're crazy about 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years. I'm talking about where you're looking at just robotics from that perspective, not for saying you can have uncontrollable robots. I mean, don't think Minority Report. Don't think what was the
Will Smith flick? Yeah, iRobot.
Yeah, iRobot. No, I don't think we're anywhere near an iRobot type situation.
Really? I mean,
are we damn in a war game situation? Matthew Broderick?
I think we've been long past war game.
Yeah.
Wait, time out. There is a Elon. Now, granted, we know Elon's tech is always wonky,
Yes.
like always wonky. But he does have robots hanging out with Kim Kardashian right now. So the technology exists.
But are they existing autonomously?
I don't know.
No. Right?
I don't know. I'm not that technical.
Yeah. So I mean, can they autonomously go out in society without some sort of program, without some sort of data inputs, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say earlier. I was looking at there's some robot technology that is I think it's available now. Where you can have a robot in the home, but it's programmed from somebody at some remote center where they give parameters to the robot for what it can and cannot do. So what I was getting ready to say was the major LLMs right now are ChatGPT, Claude, Microsoft Copilot.
OpenAI, right? Oh no.
OpenAI is a company that owns ChatGPT,
right, okay.
And then obviously Grok. So the major players right now are owned by large corporations, but you can also download an LLM right to your device and program it and train it yourself. So when we talk about whether or not there's be some unharnessing around AI, whether it's dangerous, people do have the ability to train models on their own and build them for whatever purpose they see fit.
But even when they're building them on their own, I just want to make sure I'm clear. Are you guys saying that even when, like, as somebody familiar with code, there's some kind of background code that a developer can't override to make the AI do something that it shouldn't be doing? Like in the case of Grok, right? Grok was being racist for like a week. So, I mean, we have to consider things like that from a development perspective, that it's possible. Now, whether it happens or not, we'll see, but it is possible that somebody nefarious can go in and do something and make AI do something we wouldn't particularly care for. But I could be wrong.
I 100% agree you can. I mean, you could. I mean, it's not, you know, especially if you look at it from the software developer side or a hacker side, they live for that challenge.
Yeah.
So
Right?
I would say,
one more thing.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about the downloading your models, you want to understand it, you can go, the best place outside of what you're saying was LinkedIn. It's a place called Hugging Face, huggingface.co.com. It has every conceivable LLM that you have model. It has training. It gives you the blueprints of building your own model. So can you do it? That's where I was going with. Can you do it from an open source perspective? You could, but it's where you're going to deploy that model. Where are you going to, there are guardrails that are built around it. So I don't ever want to say never, but the way in which these models are built now, it's very difficult.
Yeah, I would say also, and what's not being brought up in this conversation is agents. So agents are the ones, if you're going to go out and actually execute something, you're probably going to want to learn how to build AI agents. ChatGPT, the LM in and of itself, is going to give you information. You can make it do certain things, but where the talk and the buzz is right now in the industry is around AI agents.
What exactly is an AI agent? I'm not familiar with
So
that
it's an autonomous piece of software that actually can go out and execute tasks for you. So it can go and it can open up a website. It can you can make agents go and build an entire website. There are some development platforms right now where you type in what you want, it translates that and it goes out and writes the code on its own and builds out the website or the application on its own based on the prompting that you give it.
Like automated workflows. So based off the LLM model. So that's
so AI, if you're concerned about anything in terms of being a risk, it would be agentic AI.
Yeah, and it's huge.
I'm glad I'm not a developer.
So let me ask you all this, kind of piggybacking off that. AI and technology is always advancing and making our life simpler and easier in certain ways. How do you think AI is affecting us in a positive way right now?
That's a good question. In a positive way. So I'll just speak for myself. I use it to do research on health and wellness things. So I'll ask it questions about the human body and I may ask it, what are risk factors for cardiovascular health? And I'm learning things about health and wellness, getting answers straight from ChatGPT that maybe I had to dig for and kind of compare in Google. So that's a positive thing. I'm using it right now for content creation and automation. I got an app built that I'm using it for right now. The project that I'm working on for LinkedIn content creation is phenomenal. I mean, I think that anybody that is interested in growing their business, these tools that are out that I'm using right now can explode a business. I mean, from a marketing perspective and lead generation. So I think those things are some positive aspects of use of AI.
Joe?
Yeah, I use it just in a work environment. I've tried to keep it out of my personal life because I understand that when you start using the public LLMs like ChatGPT, if you start putting your own personal data, your personal research, that becomes available to whomever is on ChatGPT. So that's where my concern is from the guardrails. But I think in every day I do use it for research. So I use it for research, confirming my thoughts on a task I may have at hand. I know that I've seen it in the work environment where some of our designers, when they're designing web pages or they're designing UI, UX, a lot of the tools are great at that. And then, like Dean was saying, it's great for your business. If you're trying to start a business, to give you the foundation of starting a business, it's a great tool. For me, I'm a slow adopter and I'm in the field. All right. So, I'm a slow adopter because I look at it from another way of like, if we start using this, what is it doing for my data? Which is a little bit different than the web, right? Web is more passive with your data. This is active with your data. So this is where my concern comes in. So outside a small task, I use it mostly for work. And I think, you have to, I think at this point in time, if you're not implementing someplace in your daily work environment, then I think you're going to be left behind.
You're not no slow adapter. I've seen your prompts in whichever one you use. I'm a co-piloter. I assume you use that. You use a bunch of prompts.
So what? Shut up.
Come on, I'm gonna slow it down. The hell?
People was using this shit like 2 years ago, and I was like, yeah.
2 years ago wasn't that long ago.
That well, and this pace this
I
is
mean,
going.
We act like it's like
Yeah.
light years, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I so to Joe's point, I use it for a lot of stuff on the business side, building business models, business plans, social media strategies, all that types of good stuff. But I'll be honest, even in the all right, personal insight. So, Barry, sometimes my communication is a little rough. I will own it.
You go to
You know what? I might have to start doing.
ChatGPT
I might have to start this with you too, Sha.
to formulate.
I do.
your
I say,
words.
I say, I want to say this. Say that shit in a nice way. And ChatGPT give me some shit. I be like, and I'll send it. And she knows it's from ChatGPT.
Right.
You
But
don't
we,
have, you
but
don't
she
have to
could-
do that to me. I just roll my eyes. Like,
because she
whatever.
does the same shit. I'll be like, ChatGPT is saying I'm motherfucking marriage because we are talking to each other better these days.
I mean, y'all got that article where people are like going instead of going to therapy, they're going to like ChatGPT.
Yes.
I'm just like, come on, y'all. That's
dangerous.
crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of dangerous, we can start digging into concerns, Joe. And you mentioned a little bit about your concerns. What concerns do you have?
So I do think about it from an ethical, but then also some of the racial bias.
Mhm.
And what I mean by that is that where do you put the guardrails where, because remember, we're at the point where it's data in, data out. So if you're putting in racist, discriminatory type data, you're going to get responses that align with that. And I know that there's a woman that worked at Google and she was running their AI ethical unit and they fired her. Black woman, I think her name is Timnit Gebru, and she was doing a lot of great work in the ethics of AI. When they fired her, that's where I was like, wait a minute, let me start reevaluating how I use this platform. Because when you start taking the ethics, morality, things out of that with the data you're putting in, you're going to have exactly that dystopia that you're going to get out. So for me, that is a strong concern.
Oh, so they want Copilot to be racist.
Yeah.
Which makes sense given this administration. Dean, concerns you have?
Just everyone's ability to actually use it in a way that actually makes sense and to be able to interpret what the output gives you. I mean, people need to keep in mind that just because you use ChatGPT does not mean that you don't have to think.
Yeah.
That you should question the output that it gives you. That you can still cross-reference what ChatGPT gives you against, Google searches or Bing searches, so that people need to understand to do their due diligence when using it. That yes, it will give you it's trained across billions of parameters around the English language and text. So it's robust. I mean, it is the most widely used AI tool out of everything that is out there by far. ChatGPT is. So I think the concern is just people understanding what the limits are and just being smart enough to fine, if you read something, you do something in there, to use your brain, common sense to say this might be correct, or maybe I needed to go do some more research somewhere else, or go ask some experts to get their opinion.
That's what scares me. I'm sorry,
No, I
Joe.
was going to say something. He brought up education and thinking. I think we all have kids, so it's
This is exactly what I was about to say.
About
Yep.
to say that.
Yep. They already don't use encyclopedias.
Right. I think that I missed that as a key danger because ChatGPT can give the illusion to take away analytical and critical thinking.
Yeah.
Right, because it'll do it for you.
Right.
But again, it's data in, data out. So it's critically thinking on what it has access to without you thinking like, maybe I should go research this somewhere else from another source. And so I do think it's dangerous for our kids. I have 8th grader, high schooler that are coming up and how they're going to be able to say, I could write my entire paper through this.
Facts.
There are things that can do it, but like Dean was saying, it takes away thought.
And
It
so
really does.
it's funny you brought that up. So my daughter just started at a new school, and the administration had us guess what the most amount of demerits were in the last 7th grade class. And we were guessing like tardies and blah, blah, blah. And it was actually plagiarism from the kids using AI to do their homework. So that is a big fear, that it will take away their ability to learn which ultimately teaches them how to critically think because they have this tool that they can very easily get to write their papers. You can make AI, I tinker with it. I'll keep making commands until it starts sounding like something I would do, right?
Yeah.
So they would also be able to do that. So I do have a major concern that it will have some hindrance on the way these kids learn and cause us, in the next video, you'll see the guy will talk about how, and we all remember this because we old, how we used to remember thousands of phone numbers. Thousands. Yeah. I could recall 99% of the phone numbers I knew in 1991 now. So there's something to consider.
Well, what's funny about that is I probably could tell you like half these numbers I used to know. Yeah. Now Joe, say your number and ask me to remember it now.
I don't know. So there is a huge concern just about our capacity to learn and retain and comprehend things.
Yeah, there's research out already. They did brain scans on people that actually use ChatGPT over a certain amount of time. And they're showing that particular area of the brain that is, that responsible, I guess, for a very specific piece of cognitive function that is aligned to critical thinking, the activity in that area is way down from people that use ChatGPT. So that is true. It is going to deprecate people's ability to actually think for themselves and make decisions. But I mean, this is the evolution of technology. They won't need to remember phone numbers or remember how to do certain things or have a computer that will tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
So what kind of educational skills will people need in the AI powered future, right? Like Sean was saying earlier, she's worried about job loss and worried about our kids and how they're learning. But with loss comes opportunity. Yeah. So what will they need to?
So just like with any other disruptive technology, there's going to be new opportunities that emerge. And so in the IT space, which is where I work, any skill set that allows you to overlay the use of AI technology onto any existing skills. So whether you be a project manager, administrating servers, anything like that is going to be a very useful skill. What particular AI tools would you use or need to use to bring in to try to make your work be better? Some particular roles are AI engineer, prompt engineer, AI consultants. We're starting to see those type of roles that are popping up. They're 60 to 70% of a lot of the job roles out there that we see are AI, but only like 3% to 5% of people have them on their resume. So prompt engineering is something that is huge. I talked about agentic AI, being able to build AI agents and workflows. There's a real popular tool out there to do that called NAN. Yeah. It is probably one of the most popular tools for agentic AI and workflows. Your ability to string together different applications to do certain things, that's going to be huge. So you're going to see different roles, AI focused centered roles that are going to crop up, that are already cropping up as a result of this technology that will replace what gets retired and deprecated. So we have, all these traditional IT roles, and now we've got AI that creates other roles that need to get created, and people need to learn how to jump into those skills to fill those gaps.
Jay?
I think from an education perspective of like where your roles are, I think where we're talking about you to be a critical thinker. So I think one of the roles is going to be anything around data scientists, data architectures, data analysts, because AI is such a heavy data driven functionality as we have now. I think people who can use AI to make themselves more efficient. So for if you have a task that you can automate to make you be more productive on your actual job, then I think that will be key. But learning how to do that, we were talking about in the back room, was that the one thing that I do see is that if you're in entry level jobs, that's where I think a lot of the job where you need to be probably worried about your job stability if you're not learning AI or in the process of learning AI. So I think any entry like financial analysts, business analysts, copywriters, if you don't have experience around it and go get true experience, I think the ability to job shift is going to be much more difficult with AI. So it's going to be more, you have to have some expertise. I think that whole expertise in a broad sense of whatever field you're in. So,
These poor kiddos.
The thing is, we don't know what they're going to build, though. So I think that's the thing, is that these kids are the ones that are going to be driving it. Because remember when tablets came out, when phones came out, now our kids, they can't even operate without a tablet. It took us a while to really get used to it. The cell phone, right? They took to it immediately. So I think the concern is on our generation, not our kids.
That's true.
I think it's more along us. I don't think there'll be a big worry for our kids because they're going to do things we haven't even thought about. Yeah.
Well, luckily, hopefully,
right.
Most of us
take care of us.
With that and we should be planning on getting out the game soon anyway. So
or using AI to get to age.
That's right. That's right. No doubt. No doubt. Hey y'all. So we are at our 40-minute mark. That's a quick 30 minutes. Good Lord, that flew by. Yeah, I know. Appreciate you all's expertise and knowledge around this, man. We're gonna bring you back at the end for a little hot seat.
Okay.
Oh, geez. Brian loves a good hot seat.
I do love a good hot seat.
Good Lord. Let me go ask this week.
Don't you worry about that.
All right, Ryan, let's go on to the next.
When was the last time you tried to remember anything or solve a problem without Googling it first? Right? It's a simple question, but the answers, I think, are quite illuminating. See, increasingly nowadays, we're living our lives with our brains in our pockets. And that's the idea I'd like to explore with you today. Our tech is wonderful in that it makes life easier and more efficient, but it is quietly stripping us of some essential human qualities, like our ability to remember, our capacity to think critically about things, and even our capacity for compassion for one another. And the worst part, we don't even realize it's happening. Now, this isn't a story about quitting technology or throwing everything away that you own. Maybe a story about taking a few steps to reclaim something you didn't necessarily mean to give up in the first place. Let's start with our ability to remember.
There's nothing like one work trip rewarding the next. Earn 35% points back when you use points to book an eligible flight through Amex Travel. There's nothing like Business Platinum.
Now, we talked a little bit, hopefully you're watching, about how AI is transforming our lives professionally and personally. We want to take it a little bit further now. Now we want to talk about how not only AI, but technology in general is affecting our humanity. And I believe we have a newbie to the show.
We have a ITZ virgin. We ain't had one in a while. We keep bringing all these old.
I know,
these old
ran through guests.
Wow.
And welcome. This is one of my favorite people. I love him. He's a bigwig in tech. Hey, Tavares, thank you for joining us.
Hey, what's up? Can y'all hear me?
We can.
We got you, brother.
What's up?
Welcome
How are
to
y'all
ITZ
today?
and letting us pop your virginity on our podcast. I know.
It's been a long time since I heard that story.
Just saying. But thank you for coming. I'm so excited to have you. And you guys know who's to my left. He's been here I don't know how many times. Eric, welcome. Third time? Yeah. Oh. You not at Jen's level yet? No. Or Erica's?
Oh, we not. Hold on. You did a couple of at least one movie.
Oh, we did a movie.
That's right.
That was before y'all get
We was
in the basement.
We was in the basement. That's right. No doubt.
You done grown up.
Apparently, I guess so. Yeah, so we do want to dive in about how technology has affected how we interact as human beings, and potentially how we are going to save our humanity.
Are we saving it?
We'll see. We'll see. So let me ask this. We had a couple of things, and I'm going to skip straight to this one. How do we preserve genuine relationships when so many of our interactions happen through screens?
You want to kick that off to Tavares?
Yes, Tavares, please. You start us off, bro.
Yeah. Again, thanks for having me. But I would like to say that screens really aren't our enemy, right? Distance is the enemy, right? And if you don't have good habits before a screen, you're not going to have it with the screen, right? And so really the biggest thing is, and the biggest difference is intention. Tech can be used as a bridge, right? Like, y'all are in person right now, but I'm on Zoom, right? And like, we have a shared intention of disseminating this message of AI and humanity. And I think that that's really the thing that people forget. And I think the brother mentioned it earlier is that, is garbage in, garbage out. So if you want to have quality relationships and genuine relationships, regardless of the medium, right? Because, you can be at a club and see somebody in person. You just have a trash ass interaction with them, right? Like the screen isn't the issue. It's the actual intention and that person, right? So, I mean, the thing is regardless of whatever the medium is, you have to call, you have to show up, because really connection without context is just content, right? And content kind of fades. So that's my opinion.
All right, D. And let me say something, brother. You got a crystal clear camera. I don't know what you got over there, but we need it here.
Yeah, man. I spent a little money on the camera and light situation and the mic situation.
He got a ring light behind him.
No, he ain't got a ring light. That man got studio lights.
Yeah, I got a couple lights, to make it so.
Look, I'm jealous.
Yeah. I'll send you the list,
There you go. Come on now. Send them this way. E, what you think?
Totally agree with you, brother. It's all about intention.
Hey, brother, speaking to the mic. I can't hear you.
Oh, yeah. Is that better? How's that sound?
Yeah.
Better? Yeah, I totally agree with DeVaris. It's all about your intention and habits. You mentioned earlier about, when you weren't texting, like, call me, right? So we still have that, the different generations, X, Z, whatever the hell my son is right now, right? The habits are what they are. The problem is that the younger generation are growing up with bad habits, and they're going to perpetuate because they don't want to talk. They don't want to text. It used to be, it was all about the FaceTime. Now they drifting away from the FaceTime. And so it's a blessing and a curse with technology. We go with gaming. Now you can game with somebody halfway across the world and you'll build a relationship, but I don't need to see you, and this is our only interaction. We're not having an in-depth conversation. We're not learning about each other because that's where we are now. So how do we break those cycles of, as you said, bad habits and be more intentional and, dare I say, strategic in our relationships, in our relationship building?
I would be curious, how do you build a relationship while playing Call of Duty?
What I was just about to say. So back in the day, and this is maybe telling my age a little bit.
We all old.
There was no streaming. We had to get together and sit next to each other and play a game, right? And while you're playing, sure, you're playing the game, but you're also talking about other shit. When the game is over, you're having a drink or whatever, talking about some, maybe before you kick the game off, you're talking about some other stuff. You're at least face to face and having an interaction, right? As opposed to, as Eric's saying, now you're just headphones, boom. Hey, Sean in Nebraska, don't do that no more. So it was a little bit different when you had to. So Reese and I, for example, Reese worked from like 3 to 11 when and I had a regular 9 to 5. But I would go to his mama's house. That's how young we still were, first out of school, and we would play like NBA Live.
Okay.
And I started with Atlanta, he started with Boston or whatever, and we would just play. And whatever the case may be, but every day I would go over his house at night. We would do this, and this is just how you build a bond, right? As if we were doing it online, it just wouldn't have been the same.
I mean,
you know what? I'll go ahead, Tails.
No, you're the guest. You pop in. I'm here all the time. They've heard enough of me.
Yeah, I would say yes and no, but also too, like the benefit of being able to be online is that you have exposure to cultures around the world, just not just,
right.
And so I would also argue, from a younger person's side, a point of view is that again, it's about the intention and the habits. Like, it doesn't matter that whatever medium that I use, let's just say I'm gaming with somebody in Slovenia right now, right? But if I'm a steward of my culture and they're a steward of theirs, there can be an exchange of values and an exchange of knowledge that I may have never gotten, without a $2,000 trip to Slovenia. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. Yeah, that's fair.
I was going to say, I mean, it really just starts, and it's probably because I spend so much time online. It really just starts with the conversation, right? That is where you build relationship. It's not necessarily, to DeVaris's point, being in the same room. It is being engaging, asking questions, being a constant learner, not just of AI or the new game, but of people. I think that's where the relationships are built.
Yeah. Well, usually mad, and I just want to score and talk shit to you.
I mean, and that becomes my question, right? It more specifically in that space for men, and not to make this a men versus women thing, but how do you guys build no gender wars? Not today. I'm sick of them shits. But just talking through that, right? As men, how do you sit on a game? Like, how do you even start the conversation and be intentional, like while playing 2K?
Because it'll go just like this. Get on the game?
Yep.
All right, we get on the game. So we playing. We might say 10 words over a 2-hour game.
Right.
Like those 10 words mean something to us, right? And while we're playing the game, like, yeah, that's how we've always been that way before technology, right? We did a social experiment in my house. We played 2 games. We played what's the one with the buzzer?
Taboo.
We played Taboo, and there's another game we play where you can't talk. The Taboo women killed us. The game where you couldn't talk, we blew their asses out.
I don't want that game.
Right. And we can. That's just something. Sitting on the game is just like y'all got to talk. If you go hair shop, y'all. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a diss. I'm saying, but that barbershop. Unless we talk, unless the game is on, be quiet.
First of all, I have been to barbershops. Y'all are not quiet in barbershop at all. Not even a little bit.
It depends.
No,
It depends on the shop.
Them 2 years that I was getting haircuts. I went to barbershop every other week, and you motherfuckers would chatter the entire fucking time. Maybe I just went to a very chatty barbershop. I don't know.
No, I mean it's usually because we talk about the things that actually matter to us. Because we have to talk about so much bullshit every other time that we get an opportunity to talk with folks that we care about. I mean, it's crazy. I had this conversation with somebody just around like race and culture and why, like, you think about why the civil rights movement worked. You think about why the military works, right? You think about why folks in gaming work. It's all because we are aligned on marching towards a common goal and a common objective. That is why online, that's why being some random ass person across the world playing Call of Duty with each other when we go and play and capture the flag, like we ain't got to say nothing but 5 words because we understand the objective, we understand the thing, and only if you mess up, that's when I got to say something.
Oh, we have such smart people on our show.
Let me ask y'all this. That's a good point, DeVers. I want to ask you this. How do you personally disconnect or reconnect with yourself offline?
I mean, it's for me, it's like maintenance, right? Like you can't run the system 24/7 and expect it not to crash. So for me, it's I DJ, I make music, I cook, like a lot of these things. Like I actually try to take intentional time without screens. One, because like I developed a stigmatism out of nowhere. All these years now, all of a sudden I got to start wearing glasses. Just because I stare at screens so much. But the other thing too is because I'm a creative person, because I have so much responsibility and things like that in my day-to-day job, right? Like I need a moment to kind of defrag my brain so that way I can think creatively about or strategically or critically about what I have. So for me, is and the other piece of it is not like I want to reframe it around like it's not about escaping tech. Right, it's more about rebalancing power and recharging my energy. Right, so when I get quiet, I can hear myself, and then that helps reinforce that I'm the operator and not actually the one being operated on.
Okay, Neo.
Hey man, I
love it, bro.
I heard that differently than how you meant it. I was like, he's not alpha.
Matrix.
I got counted that later. Like, oh,
Matrix.
Wrong Neo. Got it.
And I ain't got 4 women in the bed, so wrong Neo.
All right, Eric, you.
Same thing. I spend 9-10 hours a day staring at a screen. And that's either my laptop or my phone. Because wherever I'm working, I got my phone, I'm working. So I got just like him, I got to recharge. So I cooking, drinking, doing my Tai Chi, all of that, just to recharge and get myself together.
I know you did Tai Chi.
Oh yeah, low key martial arts.
You out there with the old folks in the park, man. Little old Asian.
Right,
folks.
That's right.
And that one random black dude in the
but you have to unplug because you'll drive yourself crazy because it's so much information and your your brain isn't built to consistently take in stuff like that. We got a sensory intake all the time, right? But even that can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
That's why we go to sleep. So we have to find a way to turn down that noise and reset, and recalibrate. Otherwise, you go nuts.
Yeah. Me? So this is very easy for me. I know I've told you guys this a million times. I'm an introvert. So when I'm sick of y'all, I'm sick of y'all. Like I've gotten to a point now, like I won't talk to people. I talk for a living. You guys know I'm a PM. I talk all the time. I talk all day. If I'm not verbally talking, I'm talking over email. So I'm constantly communicating. And I will just not talk to people, which is hard because I do have a very chatty tween. But even her, sometimes I have to say, hey, I just need like 30 minutes. Go watch something or listen to something and then we can talk. So I'm very diligent about me being able to be quiet. Like I've gotten to a point I don't even watch TV anymore because I just need quiet because I do so much talking throughout the day. So that's what about you, boss? You the man. I don't see how you down. How do you like shift?
You know what? Makers. No facts. And makers and vinyl.
Oh.
I've really gotten back into my reconnecting with and rebuilding my vinyl collection. So just not even just music like streaming or whatever. That's like put on an album and let that joint play.
Are you about to be a DJ?
No, I don't want to mix nothing. I don't want to do it for nobody else. I want to go in my little music room, put on. Yeah,
I guess I put on Mama's Gun last night. Just let it put that static that.
Yeah, that's why it's playing. Yeah, and it's not a playlist. It's the same artist. The album's put together in the way they wanted you to listen to it for whatever reason. That way, the songs are constructed for a reason to flow like this on this album. That's kind of how I'm disconnecting and just kind of having my own time. Because you're right, I'm on screens too much, way too much. So that's one of the only ways. Even when I think I'm disconnecting, I'm still looking at a screen to disconnect.
Yes.
Right. So that's right now the main way I'm kind of finding my vibe again.
Oh, I was curious because I'm like, you always on the go, out and about with the people.
Well, that's the other thing too, right? Like I do like human interaction. I do like being where people are. I am a people person. I get re-energized. People get drained by people. I get re-energized by people. So I do like to be out, at a game or the occasional bar or whatever the case may be.
Why don't you get close to me because people are having a hard time hearing you.
That's because Eric go deep voice. Come on, boy.
You want him to go off some octaves?
My bad.
Trying to sound like Mickey Mouse. Get you some treble in your voice. I hate y'all so hard. What haven't we asked you guys? So do you think we're more connected from technology to virus, or are we more isolated, or maybe both? Maybe some like a little bit of both.
I mean, I would, is nuanced, right? Like I think we are connected, but we're not always seen. So I think technology just made it really, real easy for us to reach each other, but really hard for us to feel each other. You know what I mean? Like we've got a ton of bandwidth, but not enough presence. So I think, we have to just remember that connection isn't just communication; it's community and communion. And again, it's really about showing up with intention and not just sending emotions, because really tech does give us the reach. But the key is to remember that like the empathy and intentionality gives us the depth. So we kind of need both. Otherwise, it's just noise, right? And I just feel like people just forget the nuance of that, because again, they've never really been taught how to communicate effectively, regardless of the medium that's in front of them. And I think that's really the issue, is that right now it's kind of funny. Like we're caught between generations, right? Like all of us remember a time before cell phones and internet where you actually had to, like, if I wanted to communicate with somebody far and wide, I had to sit down, collect my thoughts, and write a letter,
Right. I miss those times.
And like it's gotten so bad that, I mean, funny enough, like the last time I sat down and tried to write something, I actually forgot how to write characters in cursive. So I had to go on YouTube to go look at how to write in cursive.
Shut up. You had
I'm
to.
not even bullshit. I type all the time, right? Like, so for me, it's just that, you know, we can have our the mediums, but again, it's the intentionality around that. And I think
And
that's something we have to remember.
How do we teach this? You know, I have a Gen Alpha, since you could remember the other generations. I can't remember who it. Like, how do we teach that level of intentionality to Gen Alpha, Gen Beta? Since, you know, Gen X and Gen Z or millennials, we done. It's over. How do we give that to the kiddos?
I mean, I teach, you know, in the community around tech a lot and all these things. And the thing that I will say is that we were forced to have patience because we didn't have the resources readily at our disposal. Right. These kids nowadays, they're impatient and they have everything at their fingertips. Right. Like, if I wanted to write a paper, I would have to go to the library, sit, you know, learn the Dewey Decimal System. I would have to like get on the microfiche, have to, you know, all this other stuff to like go find the research, right? Like, and then I would have to write a report on something. Like nowadays, they can just ask a LLM or, you know, about a thing, and they get an outline that they can go, you know, kind of doctor. So I think the issue is that we still have to teach the fundamentals, because those are the things that are going to outlast whatever technology shifts happen. Like, I think the reason why we get to be a motorbike amongst semis, in society, is because we can do both, right? We understand how to solve the equation on pen and paper without a calculator, right? Or without putting it into a search, into a browser. And I think that's really the thing, is that we have to get back to the point of teaching fundamentals all the way up to mastery. It's kind of like the old Kung Fu thing, right? Like, you got to start off, kind of wax on, wax off, and then you can get to the point where you actually fighting, right? Like, once you get to the point of mastery, it doesn't matter the medium or the tool at that point. It's literally the fundamentals are driving the experience regardless of whatever the medium is. And I think that's something that, I try to teach the kids, like, yeah, you can go to so I code, right? And you can go to, use Cursor or Claude or, any of these things. But at the end of the day, if you don't actually understand the inputs that go into this thing to make it better, and to make it more accurate, that'll enable you to work faster. That all boils down to the fundamentals. And my granddad used to tell me, man, back in the day, he said, look, there's two people in the world, right? It's going to be people who turn the crank and people who ask why the crank turns. You want to be the second, right?
Mm-hmm.
People who get told to turn the crank, those are the folks that, they're going to go by the way of the dinosaur, the way of the Betamax, right? Like, that is the fundamentals are the way that you future-proof your way. So always, don't ask just the what, ask the why and how things happen. You want to continuously, make these kids be more curious at a level of depth that is beyond, just what's in front of them today. And I think that's how they become more resilient to all these changes that are happening.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Hey.
Follow that up.
Oh, thank you. I gotta follow the roots. So I would say part of that, all of that I agree with.
Brother, I'm gonna need you to move that mic up, man, because you sound
I'm right
far
Here,
away.
you can have my mic. There you go. Hey.
Right. Is that better? I totally agree with him. There's a lot of things that he hit that are perfect. And I would say also teaching to be more empathetic. I think technology is taking the empathy and sympathy out of this next generation. And I think part of it is we got to call it out when we see it. I was talking to somebody a couple of weeks ago after Kirk got killed, and he said, "I'm not going to say whether or not I agree is whatever the man was or was not." However,
Charlie Kirk. I wasn't quite clear.
Yeah,
okay.
Charlie Kirk. He said, "But I should not be able to see a man get shot on live TV, and then 2 seconds later, we telling fart jokes, because it takes the sensitivity away from it." And that goes into everything that he's saying about the intentionality. And if I don't care I'm just gonna keep moving on. I don't care. I'm not gonna invest. If I don't care, whatever happens to you is gonna happen to you. So we're at the point of somebody cries for help. Well, that sucks for them. But let me get this video real quick of you getting your face kicked in.
Do you think the empathy is gone because I'm trying to think of how to formulate my question? Because even though we may be like right now, me and you are in the same room, but because of technology, that has created some distance. Because empathy comes from listening to people's experience, seeing things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hearing their stories. I'm wondering what caused the erosion of empathy, the way you see it.
So you're saying that made me think of some things. And
Mm-hmm.
what Davaris, am I saying that correctly? Davaris?
Yeah.
Davaris touched on earlier is that we get to see different cultures. So TikTok, for example, I can see somebody suffering. Like you see all these people that are homeless.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, wow. And you see all these different people going through. So you can build empathy, but I think it's the separation of that bond that people spend with each other and that time as opposed to FaceTime or tech time. I think it's just that the distance and the proximity. I can learn about you, but I don't get to know you. And so I know the math of you, but I don't know the why. At least the why of you.
Why.
So I don't care, right? You're just another number to me, and I can just keep moving on. Now the people who get closer that I get to learn the why of, then I might have empathy for certain people, right? I think it's just the technology is a beautiful thing, but it's a tool, and you use any tool wrong. Or I teach you, I'm not teaching you how to use a tool correctly. It's just like a gun. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. However, if I give you a gun, say, here, just give you the gun, and don't tell you what to do with it, how to use it, how to properly take care of it. When you pull it, when not to pull it, you just blasting and you're being more destructive than you are being helpful.
Yeah, fair.
So
Yeah,
you came back strong.
that technology scales, you know, and amplifies what's happening in our society. So we don't actually get time to feel, right? Because we're just bombarded by so much digital dopamine at any point in time that, you know, we don't even get to sit and resonate with things that happen, because the mirror on society and the mirror on our own actions is just so it just magnified so much. Like, you remember in COVID, we were just watching folks get killed every, you know, between 2014 to you know, George Floyd. It was always something. It's always something all around the world. And it's like, yo, we didn't even get a chance to you know, let that sizzle in our spirit, right? Like back in the day in the civil rights movement, things would happen, but unless you were like in the Picayune Times or something like that, maybe the Defender covered it. But like, you know, when Emmett Till died, like the nation had a moment of reckoning at that moment, right? Like we couldn't, you know, it was something that we couldn't ignore because it was just so much going on, you know. And I think also too, right, like society is not built for us to actually care about these things, you know. Not
right. We don't have time.
Yeah, I ain't trying to get super hotep, but like I feel like this is by design. You know what I'm saying? Like like we as long as we can live in this individualistic society where I don't care about the person next to me, whatever the powers that be do won't affect me as much as long as I'm okay.
Oh my God, it's like two's here.
No. you would love to.
I know two. Yeah.
Oh, you know two? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
No, I think that's 100% right. I think the reason the George Floyd murder resonated with fat folks so much was because it was during COVID, right? The height of the beginning of it, everybody was sitting still and had to watch it and had to come to grips with it, right? You couldn't just go out the house and do whatever else and move on to the next thing. You had to sit and let it sit in you. And we don't have enough of that at this point, because the next thing's in front of your face like that.
But to Davaris's point, that's by design. And I mean, I feel like, not to make this political, but Steve Bannon said as much. Like, we're just going to be bombarded with things and information to the point where we don't know where to focus. We're just inundated with what's going on. So you get the analysis of paralysis kind of effect, because we're just so inundated with information and what's happening. So to DeVaris's point, this is by design. And we're meant to be separated. We're meant to have no empathy, because if we do have empathy, we care about people. Anyway, I'm not going to make this political. I'm going to jump off my soapbox before I... I felt myself like, nope.
To your point, though, it's I think we're at the stage now where I hear a lot of folks that support certain actions and certain politicians, and they say they'll literally tell you, well, it ain't affecting me and mine. So, and that's that humanity and empathy.
Like the woman that said, what did she say? We all got to die sometime, the politician at her town hall. Did everybody see that? The white woman politician, they were talking about how the big, beautiful bill was going to kill people. And her response was, well, we all have to die. I said, well, God damn.
Yeah, well, that's where we are. That's where we are. Hey, gentlemen, sit tight. Don't move. Thank you for that. I appreciate your insights.
No,
amazing.
You're not allowed to leave yet.
No, but we got another section coming up. Let me, Joe and Dean, if you come back in real quick. No, there's not. We're gonna dive right into it.
Mic back.
This is my favorite section of the show.
Give me that mic back.
Come on in. This is the hot seat.
It's the hot seat.
The hot seat.
This has become Brian's new favorite.
This is my favorite piece.
Lord.
So come on in. I was like, you might have to get behind. There you go. Generally, it's not that many of us, but that's all right. We're gonna do this and make it work.
No, it's been more people that have been here.
Not when we do the hot seat.
True.
All right. So the hot seat is I've thought about it. Except for DeVaris, I don't know him well enough, so I'm gonna have to pick something random for you, brother. But everybody else I know well enough that I pick something I think is specific to you, and I'm interested in your answer to these questions. They are not scary questions. Maybe. And if anybody else wants to jump in and answer that question, feel free, but don't feel.
It is a setup.
It's not a setup. It's not a setup. Let me ask, Dean, I thought about this. I thought about this specifically on this one. What's a belief you've changed your mind about recently?
A belief I've changed my mind about recently? I guess probably coming out of the pandemic, just the belief about having dominion and ownership over the outcomes of my life.
Okay.
That with everything that's changed, I used to be kind of really ingrained in this, go to work, go home, go to work. With everything that's happened in the past 5 years, I'm now more into believing and betting on myself. And getting older, making whatever necessary sacrifices are necessary for me to be successful in my life, and just completely changing my paradigm around how I make my money and how I live, and health and wellness as well.
Health and wellness, a big one. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else want to jump in on that one? Again, not obligated.
I think for me, what I've had to reckon with the last 10 years is that people do vote their interest. We like to say people don't. They absolutely vote their interest every single time. Yeah.
I always thought that, but okay.
A lot of people, they will say that like they're not voting their interest. Yeah, they do.
True,
they are.
They absolutely are.
Being poor is not their interest. Getting these trans out my bathroom is the interest. So yes, that's people vote their interest.
Okay. Joe, this one's for you. And anybody again, jump in if you want to after your answers. What's a failure you're secretly grateful for?
Ooh. Failure that I'm secretly grateful for. Oh, this one's gonna cause issues though.
Don't get yourself in trouble.
It's not a secret anymore, brother.
Everybody knows. No. Being married really, really young at 22 and being divorced by 24. So that was a failed relationship. But that was at that time you couldn't see it, but man, that was a failure. Because you're still young. People say, oh, this person was relationship, so both failed. But it was a productive failure because I learned a lot of lessons, grew up really, really quick doing that, especially coming out of college where you're still sheltered. That's not real life. College ain't real life. Right? But going through a marriage and a divorce at that young, you got to learn some lessons in resilience and pushing through. So I'll take that as probably the biggest one.
Love it. Anybody else want to touch on that one? A failure that you're secretly grateful for?
Yeah, I would say for me, man, it was getting kicked out of college. For me, it just forced me to, one, grow up fast, but two, just figure life out, and really just stand out here on my skills and my mouthpiece and really just figure things out. And without it, I would have never been able to kind of navigate what I was able to do in this tech industry around the world. If I would have, stayed at U of I, got the degree, went to go work at State Farm or something like that, right? Like it really pushed me in a way that I didn't have no parachute, man. It was like what was it, Dark Knight, when he fought Bane and he was in the bottom of the cave. And he kept trying to make the jump with the tether. That was me at U of I, right? And then once I got kicked out, it was like, oh, you got to figure it out. You can't go home, so figure it out.
Yeah, U of I do it to you.
Man. Don't it though?
Did you about to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not. This is not necessarily a secret, but this is 25. So in 2021, the year after the pandemic, that year I had over 600 interviews and phone screens for a job that I didn't get hired for.
A single job?
There were 600 individual interviews and phone screens for a job.
Wow.
And I'm a CIO today, and I probably wouldn't have decided to keep going in my IT career, but maybe if I hadn't gone through that. I mean, that's a huge failure for somebody to kind of go through that, to go through an entire year and still not get a job offer. So I think the resilience and just the persistence of just continuing to do what I'm doing is like, it's a failure that I reflect on that was really valuable for me.
That's good perspective on it.
That is.
I'd be burning the company down personally. If you blue torches, man. All right. Let me see. Hold on, Eric. Where was yours? I lost it. I'm sorry.
What is in his infamous simple syrup? Is that the question?
No, I'm not gonna get to his. I'm not gonna get to his recipes. Not on air, at least. What's something you're currently working on improving about yourself?
Belief in myself. Belief in myself. So I am king of self-sabotage, right? Which is funny because I have a gang of mentees and people that I teach them, don't do that. You got to believe yourself. You're strong. You can do this, may happen. So as they leave the room, damn. Right? So it's a matter of the stepping out on faith part, the strength to say, hey, I can do this. So that's what I've been working on.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Come on. I ain't mad at that. Anybody else want to touch on that one?
Same for me. Belief. I think in this, last half of life, it is all about risk and betting on yourself and living your best life, and not, this, saying of living your best life. It's truly really understanding, like, what do you want your life to look like 5-10 years from now?
And my best life ain't Dean's best life. And
Yeah.
And sometimes that comparison, like, damn, but we talk about cigar bar. It's like, I need to be right there. And I could easily be out front, but I want to be back in the back.
Yeah. Keeping up with them Joneses. Let me see. This is a good one. Tavares, what's a lesson life keeps teaching you?
Oh man. I mean, is two. One, I would say continue to bet on yourself and trust your own instincts. A lot of times when you enter in unfamiliar spaces, you default to people who've been there and done that. And what I've realized lately is that, if I'm allowed access to these spaces, there's a reason, and I need to just trust my gut and do, trust the intuition and not be rigid in it, but trust the intuition that got me there in the first place. I would also say the other thing is, you know, that there's humility. Always be humble because there's always levels for you to attain. So the goal is never completion, is always mastery. So that's the thing for me, is just like continue to do that. You know, shout out to the Tai Chi brother. You know, it's always a new technique, always something to master so I can get to the next level. And I think that for me is something that, you know, those two things are things that you know, I get continuously taught again and again, and I'm happy to learn that lesson.
That's what's up.
I got a question.
Yeah.
We talk about intuition. How often does your intelligence come in conflict with your intuition?
Consistently. Consistently.
I mean, be real with that, man. You know, your intelligence and your intuition are pretty aligned. It's your willpower that doesn't want to do the right thing.
But sometimes you got that book smart. That book smart says it's supposed to work this way, but you know that you know, like, nah, I know from I'm doing this my life. No, like it ain't going to work that way. No, you're supposed to go this way. You're like, okay, and then it breaks, or it doesn't go the way the book says it's supposed to go. Right?
That's not intelligence, though.
It's
right?
not.
No, that's not intelligence. Intelligence is a summation of your experiences. So that intuition is telling you to do it, but you getting in the way and saying like, "Yo, I'm not gonna do it because XYZ said this," and it's like, no, I know what the thing is. It's just your confidence and your willpower doesn't allow you to go do the thing that you know to be true.
Right.
That's a good point.
God, this really is too.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Hey, so we are at time. I want to thank all of you all. This is brothers. I love when I get to have some black men come on here and have some real conversations about some real things, and y'all come and spit this knowledge like you did. I appreciate it. Usually when I had the brothers on, we on some nonsense. So Sean started with that one, by the way. That whole opening segment with Sean, I would have kept it legit the whole time.
We had to do something silly.
I'm just kidding. Hey, appreciate you again. Appreciate you all. Appreciate you all for watching. We will be back next week. What are we talking about next week, Sean?
My laptop is closed. Is that what we talking about, Martin?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So we're gonna dissect. It's not just Martin, but all the black shows. Have they aged well? Why? Why not?
Yeah. Sanford, right.
You see everybody's like, oh,
Jefferson, Sanford and Son, different strokes, all that do these things age well. And then on the back half of the show, we will have a draft of our favorite black show theme songs.
Now y'all know we like a draft.
You know we like a good draft. So we'll be a little, I don't think this was too serious today, but I think hopefully you got some great information. But we will see you right back here, 7:00 p.m. Central next Wednesday. Peace out.
And his own podcast. 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 And his own